Hey guys, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and if you didn't know, we talk about games here. The channel's called Skylent Games, so yeah, that's what we do. Anyway, so the conversation today, I'm going to open up a dialogue talking about when do early access games go gold? Yeah, because a lot of them don't. And I think, historically, the ones that have gone gold, it's basically because they weren't, I don't know, they wasted their money, they're not getting any more money, and they decided to just stop production, and then that's it, they released the game. That's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up, man. You know what gold historically is supposed to mean? It means feature complete. It means relatively bug-free. You should have a, generally, most people will have a bug-free full play of the game. There shouldn't be anything that's game-breaking whatsoever. And that's when the game goes, it's published like worldwide or at least region-wide. It's gold. It's good to go, basically. That's what gold is supposed to mean. I know the term was really more for like back in the day. Everything was kind of, it was boxed or cartridge. It was CDs. You would buy at Walmart or whatever, GameStop, EB Games, wherever. And that's when the game would be gold. Okay, it's whenever it started actually selling on the shelves. That's gold. Or it used to be, but things are a little bit weird now. Yeah, I mean, we have fucking things like early access, for instance. There's a little bit of vagueness with Kickstarter-ish things, Indiegogo campaign kind of things. And there's also even like subscription services. And I'm not just talking about MMOs. I'm talking about subscription services like PlayStation Now, right? Where you're buying into like a library of games. What about Origin access? Stuff like that. It's not like any one specific game. So how are you protected? How do you get refunds? Like, what if all those games aren't actually, like, they don't work on the platform? Yeah, for instance, like PlayStation Now, some games are probably unplayable because of the latency. How much to the fault? Is it your fault? Is it their fault? How do you get, like, how can you be protected as a consumer for that? Is the system itself actually ready? I mean, maybe technically that's not a game then, it's like a network system thing, but it's for gaming. Anyways, guys, I could probably tangent about all sorts of different kinds of things, all sorts of different kinds of games. When do they go gold? When do they actually complete? But it's really more of a conversation about the consumer protection, and also, I think there really should be, and I'm just going to say this, I feel like there should be fines for games that publish themselves, and they say they're gold, and they're in the hands of consumers, and they're finished, and they're completed, and they're being sold as completed games, but they falsely advertised, and they're not actually completed games. They are not feature complete. A big game would be like Street Fighter V. Totally sold, $60, not feature complete. And that was detrimental to the game, but I don't think they were fined. I know Valve actually was just recently fined, I think for Australia. They didn't do certain things. Yeah, so certain regions actually do have very, very good consumer rights when it comes to purchasing video games or just products in general, and things, being advertised incorrectly and stuff like that. But not everywhere, and it's not standardized for all the different types of games, and all, from things like early access, right? But that's what we're going to really talk about here today. I know there's a lot of things that we could talk about. We can go in all sorts of different kinds of directions, and trust me, I've already tried that. I've tried recording this video like 20 different times. I'm fucking hoarse. Let's get this on. Let me know in the comments below exactly your thoughts and feelings on anything. It doesn't matter. But I just want to get this video on. I want to be more concise. Here we go. I think an early access game, technically, goes gold whenever it sells any additional content. Whenever it can sell any additional content, it is gold. Okay, so this is going to be like Gigantic is technically, it's kind of early access. Like, you can buy a founders pack. You can purchase. I guess you can't purchase to get early access. It's free early access, but whatever. It's still early access. But I think it should technically be gold since you can actually spend money on the game. Now, it's kind of a gray area because it is free early access and the founders pack is optional, kind of. But at the same time, players can't just play any character. Like, you have to actually purchase the gems or whatever to unlock characters. So, I guess we can talk about that in the comments below a little bit too. It's a little bit vague, but let's go technically Steam early access games, okay? There is no vagueness there. It says clearly early access, and very much we have warnings and stuff. The game might be unpolished. It's going to be feature incomplete, and yet, even though it's very much an incomplete game, some games, looking at you, Ark, are selling DLCs. They're selling entire, like, extra games, like H1Z1, splitting itself into 2 different games, and then some games are early access, and you buy into it. Let's just say this, in early access, you're buying into it to support the sort of design philosophy, right, of the company, of the game, its concepts. Maybe some features aren't going to be in the game or not, but if a game ever completely changed design philosophy, like maybe if it was a buy-to-play game, but then went free-to-play, that might be awkward, but probably more detrimentally is if a game was free-to-play at first, and then went buy-to-play. Okay, so that's H1Z1 as well. Actually, yeah, H1Z1 is pretty much one of the most heinous. H1Z1 and Ark are two of the most popular games, and that's the only fucking reason they got away with it, and also why they made so much money. But Ark sold DLC while being in early access. That's heinous. H1Z1 was going to be free to play, decided it wanted to be buy to play, and then separated itself into two different games that you would have to purchase separately. Now, I will admit some people actually got refunds when that happened, and also the people that did buy early access was able to get both games. But still, man, the only reason why I even gave for early access was because of the idea that it would be free to play. It's like a core design philosophy. It definitely was going to change how I played the game, how many other people played the game, obviously, and how the game was going to be futurely developed. But yeah, they changed that, and that's fucked up. And I think whenever, something like that happens, something so monumental, and they kind of sell extra content, whenever that happens, that's when a game goes gold, in my opinion. So, yeah, if you start selling, cosmetic items in a early access game that incentivizes the developer to far too much to create a ecosystem where they just kind of develop those cosmetics and they just kind of add, the aesthetic items. They just add frivolous things to the game, and it's not really part of the original concept. And so I feel like then people, for no matter how many hours they have in the game, if the core design of the game has completely changed, or if they, started adding in, extra content to be purchased, not extra content because they are so ahead of schedule that they were able to do that extra content. No. If they're selling that content, then the game is gold, and we should have some extra rights to better. We should have better rights for as reviewers too. The reviews should be very potent because I think for a lot of games they kind of get away with the early access, because it's early access, right? Of course it's unpolished. Of course it's not feature complete. Of course it's rough around the edges. Okay, and that's okay because it's early access. Whoa! Fuck it, dude. No. H1Z1's a piece of shit. I mean, it's fun as hell. I put it as number 1 in my early access top 10, actually, but it's a piece of shit. It's just the only game out there that does what it does at the moment, really. Anyways, okay, so that's pretty much it, my thoughts and opinions. If a game sells extra content to players who already purchased inside of its early access to support the core game philosophy, then that's fucked up. It should go gold. People should be able to get refunds instantaneously. And I also think that if the game goes gold, this is a big thing. If it goes technically gold, it's out of early access and it doesn't have the features that people paid for the early access for. For instance, H1Z1, how it's split into two different games, then the parent company, Daybreak Games, should be actually fined a set amount. I do think that in a perfect world, there would be, how there's E for everyone, M for mature, there's ratings on age and everything. I feel like there should be a system in place that actually rates games if they're silver, which would be early access, if they're truly gold, and maybe if a game goes platinum or something. I don't know how that, kind of like a reward for actually doing so much and going above and beyond. So that would be games that have gave away all their DLC for free or something like that. So games that are fully feature complete and then will continue to add on content, and then have actually followed through with that add-on content, then those should be considered platinum. So that'd be games I don't know, like Titanfall. Whenever Titanfall actually does release all of its DLC and production is no longer going on, then it should be platinum or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe if the game has proven that it will continue to update the game, maybe 1 year after release and they're still adding on free content or something, then it should be labeled platinum. I don't know. I think that'd be cool. There's lots of ideas I have, and I'm sure you have them too, but I am done talking about this video. It could go in so many different directions. It could be multiple videos, but let's be more concise. When does a game go gold? In my opinion, it's whenever they sell basically microtransactions or additional content away from the base game. So that's my thoughts and opinions. Please let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Skylent. Regardless, early access or not, hopefully you guys are playing whole games. Hopefully you guys are having fun, and I'll see you in the next one.